Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Focus on Liberia. This is yet another broadcast of Chemistry and Society. My name is Dennis Jha, and we are broadcasting from Atlanta, Georgia. In our broadcast tonight, we have Liberian women in STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. With me to present this show is my co-host, Dr. Saki Golafale. Dr. Golafale, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jai. It's always a pleasure to be here again. And I just want to say good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Thanks for joining us on Focus on Africa. My bad, Focus on Liberia. I'm always saying Focus on Africa. Don't mind that. But Focus on Liberia and a special edition of Chemistry and Society here. Tonight, we having a very exciting night. We'll be having a very exciting night discussing with these wonderful women. And just to take you through a little bit on why indeed we decided to focus on this program, Liberian women in STEM. According to UNESCO data and Women in Science data, it shows that 30% of women form part of research or group around the world. So think about it, that more than 70% of researchers around the world, that is STEM researchers, that comprise of all men. And we've seen studies that show that publication in the field of STEM has had less women participating. And of course, we all know how women are paid very low compared to their male counterpart. And come to the case of Liberia. 2 days ago, we saw that Liberia celebrated her 173rd Independence Day. That seems too old for our country. And of course, someone may ask, what have we achieved? But our major focus is on women today. How has women gone through the journey in 173 years in the area of education? And we all know that the history of Liberia are basically about the war, how women were the focus of torture, of mayhem, a lot of things that they went through. And we've always been seeing a lot of advocacy for women in different areas, but we've not seen a lot in STEM. STEM is science, technology, education, and mathematics. We know the traditional women role in our society, how the society is structured, to let our women play these roles and minimize their involvement into societal issues. We all know right now how the feminist movement and a lot of movements have been formed to push women, to encourage them to excel and compete with their male counterparts. And Liberia is no exception. We've seen a lot happening in Liberia today, where women are at the focus of a lot of things in politics, in sports, and now in science. We're looking at science because science education has had limited attention in Liberia, according to our own understanding. And we've seen the need to engage our female who are almost like the hidden figures of Liberia in STEM. And we want to bring them to focus for people to know what these women go through, what they do, their struggles, their successes, as well as their challenges. But we'll look at a couple of Liberian women who have also been into STEM. All right, we'll try to recognize these women and let people know the word out there, what Liberian women are made of, that they too can do what men can do. So we'll recognize some of our brilliant Liberian women that have been in the STEM area. And one of those we all know recently, she was a president of the University of Liberia, Dr. Ophelia Weeks. She's a neuroanatomist. She's a professor of biology, and she's a strong STEM person in the area of research and technology. So Dr. Ophelia Weeks is one of those persons I'm sure a lot of female have tried to emulate. And one of our also Liberian, who is a German-trained Liberian clinical scientist, Ms. Hawa Jane Gulakai. Not forgetting Dr. Lisa Cooper, she's at Johns Hopkins University, she's a Liberian, and also Dr. Louise Mapekoto. She just recently got a PhD. Not forgetting one of the Ebola heroes, Dr. Mata Zawe. She's a general practitioner in Liberia. So a lot of women have been involved in STEM, but we haven't brought them to light. So this evening we have these brilliant Liberian women who have been involved with STEM education, and we will highlight them. We'll ask them to tell us about their challenges as well as their successes. So we'll go around the table or around our panelists tonight to have a brief introduction and let them tell us some of the things that our people will get to know them about their degree program, their discipline, their field of study, their concentration, research interests. So we will also ask them about their degree and what their career goals are. So we'll start off around the table. First, we'll go to Miss Guiacolo or Juanita Guiacolo. Can tell our audience who is Miss Guiacolo and what is she doing, what her career goals, and what does she plan to do with her career, her degree in STEM.
Thank you, Dr. Golafale. Hello, viewers. Hello, everybody. I want to thank the host of this program for inviting me into such forum where I can discuss my experiences with other women in the STEM field, the field of STEM, I mean. I'm Miss Juanita Guiacolo, presently a candidate, MSc candidate at the IHE Delft Institute of Water Education, where I studied water science and engineering with specialization in hydrology and water resources. I got my bachelor's degree in civil engineering from the University of Liberia, after which I got fully employed with the Ministry of Mines and Energy, specifically the Bureau Hydrological Service. There I was working in the hydrometric department, where we are basically involved with data, hydrological data collection, like collecting of discharge, water level and rainfall data, where we take them to the office and process them and keep them that it can be used for further studies.
Ms. Guiacolo.
Present.
Ms. Guiacolo.
Yeah. Yes.
Goosebump getting over me now as you call this thing. So let's take it step by step so that it will sink in. So for the first round, just each of you tell us your name and where you live. And then we can come around so that you can talk that one, because as you were saying it, I'm like, what in the world the little girl doing? So water science and all that. So I just want us to, so that it will sink in. So the first round, let's just go around the room, tell us your name and where you where you live, just something like 1 minute. And then Dr. Golafale, we can come around so they can really go into.
I know.
Okay, yeah.
I wanted to sink in because I was like, wow.
That's a lot to take in.
I know.
So just 1 minute, briefly,
Yes.
So your name and then your area, and then we can move on to the next and come back.
Yeah, we'll move on to Miss Safiatu.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you all. It's an honor to be here on this program. I'm Safiatu Barry, and currently I am at the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology in South Dakota, Rapid City. So it's an honor to be here today.
Thank you very much. Dr. Sosa?
Yes, like everyone has said, I'm so excited being here. It's a good platform, trying to have a focus of winning in sciences that is so unique. I'm from Lofa County. I love being on the field. Sorry about that. Anyway, I'm from Lofa County. My mom is born, and I am Baba H. Sosa, president, have doctorate in chemistry with emphasis in polymer chemistry. And then I live in the US, of course, yes. And then I'm so excited. Like he said, we shouldn't go too much around. So we just stop it right here.
Great. We'll talk more about it.
I got my BSc in chemistry and major in biology from the University of Liberia. So it's nice being here.
Thank you, Dr. Sosa. Ms. Wiaga.
Yes. Good evening, good morning, wherever everyone's located. I too am excited to be here. My name is Laity Wager, and I'm located in New Haven, Connecticut, so in the United States. That's where I'm in school currently, and that's where I live and work.
Great. Thank you. And we were expecting some of our guests could not join us this evening, and it's unfortunate. But we hope that in subsequent time in the future, we'll have more of these programs going on to give them an opportunity. So I read a lot of, I read your profile, and couple of you, some of you doing engineering, industrial engineering, or polymer chemistry, and water hydrology. So we'll talk about that, but everything falls under STEM, and our audience will want to know, people will want to know, and you will talk about what you're doing as we go on, and we'll tap into some of the things you're doing. But let's talk about STEM. Why? And why STEM? Why STEM is so important? And we told our audience, we know what STEM is science, technology, education, and mathematics. And these women are all STEM majors. They've taken STEM to be a way of life. So generally to each one, and why you choose STEM in a minute. Ms. Saucer? Dr. Saucer, rather?
Yes, STEM, I tell anyone and I tell everyone, and even my students when I was teaching at the University of Liberia, and even my present serving as a teaching assistant at Clark at the other university, I always tell people STEM is very, very important because it covers our entire livelihood, whether it comes to biological systems, whether it comes to whatever materials we work with, what we eat, what we hold. So STEM is all about life. Why STEM? It is essential for you to know STEM education and what the STEM is all about, because it's what actually you are using in your homes. It's what actually you are taking into live. It's what actually you are like living on, driving, doing everything, all about STEM, the houses that we live in. So it is significant that we all have idea on why we need to have STEM as a whole and bring it down to our own community, not just to sit and admire people out there, but rather to be, those ones or those people to impact our society and have a lively and have things being prepared for our own society. So that's why STEM is life.
So that means you're going to serve as some inspiration to a little girl way in Bokonjide and someone way in Campley. You're going to serve as an inspiration. But let's talk about our STEM again. We're still on STEM. Ms. Wega, you have a bachelor's degree in biomedical engineering and a master's degree in industrial engineering.
Yes.
Why STEM?
Yeah, I will agree with Dr. Sosa. The same thing. STEM is the foundation for everything. So biomedical engineering is the application of the science, technology, engineering, and math to impact the way we live as far as medical devices, prosthetics, and anything that can help increase our wellness and how we live. So that's why I did biomedical engineering and how it can help everybody. It's behind a hospital is biomedical engineering. You need that biomedical engineering technology to run a hospital. So with that, then the industrial engineering is improving processes. So understanding how things work, how the whole system works together and make it work better. So if it were a hospital and you just have you got your operating room, your emergency room, all that, how do you tie it together so everything can work more efficient? So that's why I did industrial engineering and biomedical engineering. And I think to the same thing, that's how we live. It's how we design the world and we live to be more effective.
Yeah, talking about design, when you call the word prosthetics, like people who use the crutch or they use some artificial parts for their body. Yeah. So I'm sure people in Liberia with those challenges will need your expertise, but we'll go into that. And let me cross over to Ms. Guekulo. She talked about.
Dr. Golafale, before you even go there, you know what I'm thinking when Ms. Wega was talking that? In my mind was, what took you there? so as you tell us, what you do, I want to hear how you got to that point, because before the show, I was telling you in my hometown, they say a woman never cut down a tree to cross a river, and so why will you look at what did you factor before you say, okay, I'm going to go do medical engineering or water science or chemistry? You kidding me?
For me, biomedical engineering, my own story is backwards. I was born in America, but then we moved to Liberia. So just seeing all the things in Liberia, you know, certain people that not having limbs and stuff, I took that in, and then I said I would help make a difference one day.
So that's a motivation. That's great. Great. So yeah, I mean, some of the challenges, we'll talk about them and when we go further in the program. But we've heard about why STEM from two of our panelists, and Ms. Guercolo, you talk about water science and hydrology. You know, that's something that is a big scientific term. Why is it of interest?
Like we will see right now, like population is increasing. You see there are a whole lot of development that is putting more demand on the water, like the limited water that we have. According to studies, you will know that the amount of water that is available for us to use, the fresh water, is just 3% of the world's water. And of that 3%, we have about like 0.5 to 1% that is available to humans to use. The rest is in glacier. So it's important. And then you have climate change coming into place, but it's putting a lot of force on the hydrological cycle. It causes acceleration within the hydrological cycle. So it's important that we manage our water resources, because if not, we will have that. That is why we see that a lot of water crisis going on around, because the demand is increasing, but then the resources that we have is already limited and it's not being managed properly. So we need people in that field to manage the water resources.
And you need to do a discipline in STEM to know how to do that, right?
Of course, like when we talk about STEM, when I talk about STEM, like my own definition, I'm like, STEM is the driver of productivity. Great. It's what covers everything.
Great. So, I mean, in our next part of the program, we'll talk about how these disciplines, all of what you guys are doing, industrial engineering and water and hydrology and polymer chemistry, how does that fit into Liberia, how Liberia can benefit. But let me not forget about Ms. Barry. She's sitting watching and want to say something about mine. You're doing your master's degree in mining engineering. You did your bachelor's in mining engineering, and you're doing your master's in mining engineering. You know the history of mining in Liberia. It's been a lucrative business. And as a female, what's your thought about a female going into mining engineering?
So first of all, I want to go first at the question, why STEM? Because in any career, there is something that can move someone to really persist and see how best they can achieve their goal. So when you ask why STEM, I definitely start thinking about my elementary days, wherein I first heard the word science is the study of living and non-living things. So like it comprises of everything, both living and that of non-living. So like everything in the world is just surrounding STEM. And why STEM is just simple for me, because the reason why I chose a STEM career is based on curiosity to know more about things, and also the love for solving challenging problems. So that's the reason that got me to really focus in the sciences and that of the calculation mathematics aspect. And for my career as a mining engineer, when I was in high school, it was very difficult to choose like what I want to do in college, because there was a lot of like confusing things that I want to do, which exact area. And choosing mining engineering was very challenging. And one definition, at which time I didn't even study the real proper definition of mining engineering. And I spotted this on Wikipedia, that mining engineering is a study of a lot of branches of engineering. And as a mining engineer, you will see a civil engineer working on the mine, an electrician. I started building that thing, and I love doing challenging things. So I said, okay, it's like I'm fit for mining engineering, and I have to go for it. So that's how I chose my career. And also, like, growing up as a child and hearing all the amounts of natural resources we have. There's even a child that is born today will know that yes, Liberia is rich in natural resources. But going through my BSc at the University of Liberia, I started asking myself a question. Yes, everyone, being it in the mining field or not, knows that Liberia have a lot of natural resources. But how much do we have? How much is economical to Liberia, and how can we know some of these things?
So we'll answer some of those questions. We will ask some of those hard questions as we move on. And some of the things you talk about, your challenges, that you face. So this program is women, Liberian women in STEM. And I want to speak about your challenges as well as your success, your feelings of success. Yeah.
Because I'm not in STEM, so I'm sorry I'll be slowing you down.
No problem.
All right. So you say STEM, right? With science, technology, engineering, math. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm doing chemistry. So why is it called STEM? Or I'm doing mining engineering, So give me that connection. Why is it that these areas you are talking about, why they consider STEM? Yay, now we've been joined by our colleague from all the way.
Yes, you see, I want to say something. People who do STEM, women or men, they can persevere. And that's what I've seen happening. It's been a challenge to get Ms. Holder on, and she's on now. So, Mr. Ja, you were saying something.
Right. Ms. Holder, welcome to Focus on Liberia. Can you hear me?
Me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, so just tell us your name and where you're joining us from to start.
My name is Nakiri Holder, and I'm joining you guys from China, Hunan province.
Wow, welcome. We are discussing women in STEM. I don't know if you heard a piece of what we were saying. So just briefly tell us, what you do and how you got involved in STEM and why you think STEM is so important. Your colleague says STEM is everything, and I want to hear more about that. Nicolene, can you hear me? Say something to us. Just say a little bit more about yourself.
Okay.
What's the level and rainfall data?
It seems like there's a problem with the network.
Yeah.
But
hello.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, I graduated from the University of Liberia, bachelor degree in biology with emphasis in chemistry. And I graduated from the Florence Nightingale Institute of Health Sciences as an S8. Now I'm at the Central South University, the Shania School of Medicine. I'm doing social medicine and health management.
Great. Wow. Social medicine and health management. You want to tell us what that? I haven't heard that before, and maybe a lot of people in Liberia may not know how important that is. What's about social medicine?
Social medicine is just it's there to seek the importance of social care to understanding how society and economic condition impact health diseases and like the practice of medicine and fostering conditions like health management, like community health system, like that.
Great. And that shows, Mr. Ja, that is something that is very important that people need to know how STEM connects to society, health management, and a lot of things that, surround our livelihood, our hydrology, like Ms. Guaclo was saying, and prosthetics, Ms. Wiega was saying, mining people, what happens in the mine, and the parliament people like Dr. Sosa. So the society is connected through STEM, one way or the other. Are we there?
Yes.
Great,
Because
great.
I used to have an accounting teacher, he said accounting next to God. Now I'm hearing STEM is everything.
Or
That's
within
why,
your
that's what I'm getting from them. That's what I'm hearing right now. STEM is everything. And, you know, when you put all of these disciplines together, you know, it tells us that STEM is everything. Yeah. So where we headed to now is we're talking about some of the challenges, because we all understand the traditional role of women in our society. And we've heard about the war, or we experienced the war, and women were the subject of abuse, the issues of rape, discrimination. Every part of the globe, women are pressured. So, and in education, we've seen a lot of advocacy in education, but STEM education has not been amplified, you know, to some extent that involves women. Let's talk about women involvement into STEM, and specifically your challenges, you know, in terms of your male counterpart, how they take you, and your failures as well as your successes. Let's start. Ms. Guayaclo, you want to start off from there?
Okay, thank you. One of I will start with the first challenge, like as a female in the STEM field, specifically engineering. The first thing is you have to prove yourself, because the career is known as so-called, sorry to say, man's career. So as a female going into the field, like you have to prove yourself. People have the mindset that, no, she's a female, she can make it. This is a men's field, so it's impossible for her to make it. So you have to prove yourself every step of the way that you're capable of the job, that you can do equally as they can do. And then you find it, like even at the job sites, you find that women have to work twice as hard as a male in the field in order to get the recognition that they do have.
Great.
So we face those challenges, like you have to be proving yourself. Then another thing, which is the social part, they say that when you're in the field of engineering, like when they see you maybe as a female, you dress in a certain way, then they look down on you, like saying that you can't be doing engineering and be wearing certain things, that person is not serious, that person is not fit for this field, because you can't look at my dress code and determine what I'm capable of.
That's the society.
So those are true.
Yeah. Great. And speaking about the issue of people telling you that you can't make it, you can't do it. Dr. Sosa, coming to you, going from high school, doing your bachelor's in chemistry, and then going on to do your PhD in chemistry. It's a whole long year of, you know, someone attaining maturity. You know, those years, if you count it, a baby born by the time you started college to your PhD should be a full-grown man almost. I may be exaggerating, but let's talk about your experience as a female.
Okay, first of all, I would like to just lay the foundation where I started loving STEM from. When I was attending high school, the St. James Catholic High School in Donnelly, I had a chemistry instructor. For you to score 20% over 100, that means you really, really know how to do chemistry with Mr. Widgewell Gobert. So, and then we had a math teacher, Mr. Guano, Augustus Guano, scoring like the same amount of points. Is like, you're doing well. So it was always like a challenge. It would always be like a man, you know, that's the main area when it comes to chemistry, when it comes to physics, when it comes to mathematics, those are all men stuff. So when you're doing chemistry or doing well in high school, they'll be like, I wonder this girl is doing good, or what really actually happening. So I got motivated, like my teacher came to class one day, started teaching radioactivity, you know, talking about Marie Curie and her own and contribution to chemistry and physics. Then he stood in class and said, you know, who knows? One day one of these guys can be chemist in Liberia.
And that's the person you are today.
And the entire class laughed. So one of my class One of my classmates, Mr. Bala, how you like, Mr. Gobe, forget about it. He great. He talking about chemistry for all those scores saying he easy. Right now with the scoring grades. But what happened?
Yeah, talking about Marie Curie and all those people that motivated you to do chemistry.
Yes,
and we've come to a point where everyone is talking about one thing in common, right? That is seeing you to be the weaker one, right? And what I understand is that in all of your fields here, you do math, you do calculus, you do differential equations. And let me focus on the engineering people, because I know that's the area. I did a lot of courses with engineering people, high level math. And Miss Barry, what's the challenges like as a female, taking on engineering and all those difficult math courses, quote unquote difficult?
So for me, I can say one of the biggest challenge that I've realized over the years is stereotype. Most often the notion that STEM is a male field, which is not written in any book. I don't think anyone has proven that to be. And that's one thing that, like, my first time getting to the University of Liberia, the first question I was asked was, are you sure you came to do engineering? And I just turned around, told the person in return that, who are you? He said he is a senior student. I said, how did you get there? He couldn't answer. I just passed by him. So, like, the 12 courses that people say, for me, I don't see it like that. And I don't usually encourage people to say they are quote unquote hard courses, because mathematics is a formula. For me, I usually tell people English is harder than math, because for math, you have a fixed step. You just have to understand the basic of it in order for you to apply it.
Let me hold you right there, Mr. Ja. You heard that, right? Yeah. English is harder than math.
Yes, because every day English changes. Sometimes when you speak this one and someone will tell you that it's wrong. But math is not like that. If you call 1 + 1 in Fula is the same 1 + 1 in Madingo in Crown. It don't change. So that's some of the things. So when I got at the University of Liberia, and a lot of people came around to torture me, and some people didn't know my background from high school. So I agree, I smile at some of them. And some of the grades, like when we score the grades in the math classes, there are a lot of stereotypes that come back at us, like, they are female, maybe the teacher just favored them.
Exactly.
It happens to the extent, because when we started at the University of Liberia, there was a math course that they said, when you pass this math course, then you are an engineer. That's math 202.
202.
Yes. And when I got that,
what is 202? What math course is 202? Is what?
That is calculus. The integration. Because 201 is where you start the differentiation. Yeah. So, like, when I started hearing about 202, I was so nervous at first. I said, but what is this course that people are talking about? And seriously, I was fortunate to do it with one of the 12 professors, Dr. MSc Dennis, wherein I got an A. But when I got an A in that course, like, a lot of people started talking, the course was easy because a female passed the course. I'm like, okay, reading some books, like why there are few, why people take women to be in terms of the bias, in terms of the stereotype. Once women exceed to a step, then people realize that it's easy, or it's just something that was not taught because the females do not feel things. So I think stereotype is playing a key role in the field of STEM. And apart from that, as another stereotype, like for me, my background, I've been stereotyped a lot of time from the society, friends, because sometimes people will just look at me. You will not even get to college. You will get married to an old man. The papier have already prepared your husband.
Let me leave you right there. Let me leave you right there. So, you know, you the key word stereotype. And one of the things you talk about, how your male counterpart wouldn't expect you to excel. And let me just lay this straight to everyone. Based on statistics that was done in 67 countries, female perform better on exam or test than their male counterpart. That is statistics. It's there. 67 countries. I can't remember the figures of the female to male ratio, but that is something established that the female students will perform better than their male counterpart. I don't know why, but you guys, you know, have the brains, seriously. And let me cross over to Ms. Weirga. She's had experiences in Liberia as well as the US, you know, and I'm sure going to school in Liberia also, right?
Yeah, elementary school.
Great. The issue of stereotype from a US experience, you know, doing engineering and crossing all those big math courses like calculus, differential equations. You know, how was your experience like, you know, in terms of your choice for engineering?
So I would say the same thing. The stereotypes are still here in America. You know, teaching in America is a little different. You focus on team projects, group projects. Everybody got to work together in small groups. So that's where you see most of the biggest challenges in engineering as a woman in America, because most of the time there may be only 2 women in the class, and then you guys are split up on different teams. Your team got 4 men and then 1 woman. The guys are not listening to the women at that point. So you'll be on the team trying to give your input, but because they're all, you know, the guys go congregate together, maybe they go do something outside, they determine this is what we're going to do for the project, and you had no input. So it was challenges like that you see a lot, is more so losing your voice. And as a Liberian, you know, culturally, women are not encouraged to speak up. So that was a challenge that I had to face personally, learning how to speak up. So when I see the men doing something like that, I got to call them out and say, you can't do that. We didn't all agree to it. If you have a problem, then we'll go talk to the professor. So just learning when to speak up and being a part of the team.
Great. We'll come to our Ms. Holder later on the issue of social medicine and women impact that it can make in Liberia. Mr. Ja, what has been your impression so far? Listening to these brilliant minds.
And that's the first thing is the background, okay? Because they are relatively young people, and maybe not to reveal too much about myself, I graduated from high school in 1988. Okay, so after that, the war, all we think that the school in Liberia is a mess, right? And I'm hearing somebody graduating from high school in Danane, you know, St. James, you know, and everybody going to LU where when we look, you know, and all we see is how everything is just backwards, and the kids that are growing up, that are graduating, they don't know anything. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm looking at the age group, and I say, so all this time that nothing is going like, oh, if you take the entrance, you have to bribe, you have to do this, you have to. And this is coming from Liberia, so it reminds me about the biblical story. Can any good thing come out of Nazareth? And of course, so share that experience with me. I want to hear more about that. That you went to school in Liberia, you went to school in a refugee camp, you went to school, you know, under those circumstances, and still came up like this. How did that happen?
As Baba?
Yeah.
I think that question is to you.
Yes, I went to school in, like you're saying, just from Ghana. I just came and like, okay, I needed to further my education, you know, like you just as you said, people like you have to bribe before you pass. I didn't care. My algebra 1 and 2, studied that stuff because I just came from Ivory Coast. I didn't know anybody 2003 or 4 to like know anybody at LU. So I did study what I had to study. and went to take the test. And someone there asked me, "Oh, you really serious taking the test? So I don't care what you do, you're not entering that school." But I didn't pay attention. I did what I could do, and guess what? My name came up passed in two, both math and English with good grades. That's how I started LU and I met with Dr. Golafale.
So, just to put her on the spot.
Biology 103 class. So it's kind of challenging.
Yeah,
it's kind of challenging, actually.
Ja,
they'll always stereotype you.
Mr. Ja, I can attest to the brilliance of Dr. Sosa. We started, there was no time from 2004, to I think 2015 or 2016, we never had a class together. It was something of great academic minds together over the last 14 years of knowing her. It has been very rewarding. I tell you, I did a course in quantum mechanics. I had to depend on her to tutor me how to talk about those different orbiters interaction. Yeah, she's a genius. I can attest to that. That's a woman power right here. And all of these, brilliant minds here, Miss Guerculum, Miss Barry, and where I got it talking things that, it takes a woman to do that. But let's hear from Miss Holder. She's been mute for a while, and you're doing social medicine. You did your bachelor's in what? Biology and chemistry? And you're doing social medicine. We know there are a lot of social problems in Liberia, and especially with the end of the war, and then came Ebola, and now we have COVID-19. How as a female, we one of the panelists here talk about the social. Ms. Guerco talk about the social stigma people have against women in these fields. Doing social medicine and going to Liberia, how do you connect with your knowledge and the current realities in Liberia? Are you there? Oh, I think we lost her.
The question I was going to add to that question of Dr. Golafale is, so from that background, because we are the one who graduated from high school before the war, we always say, those were the days, man. Monrovia College, when Saki then were watching me on TV. But now, so how does it look if you come from that background? And I asked Saki this, or Dr. Golafale this question some time ago. You come from LU and come to the people country and you are doing something in the graduate degree. Are you starting from way behind the line? How much do you have to catch up before you get to that point? Or how does the gap look like? Or if there's any?
Can I just come in?
Yeah.
Look, I tell people, allow school to pass through you. Now you passing through the school. In fact, going to LU, they'll be like, what, LU? You're going to spend, I don't know how many years you're going to spend over there and all of and what were you ready to do with LU? If I said, and all kinds of stuff. I'm telling you something. I was in school. I sat down in the bus one day and I heard people arguing about me that although it's one grade called Fabasa, so she says she's going in chemistry department at BQ. All the teachers there, they're just friendly, this and that. Let's see whether they will prove themselves. And I'm sitting there and they're discussing. So what we learn, we put our time in learning. Look, Saki and other guys started at night. There's no joke about education. If you want to have something here, especially when it comes to whatever you're doing in the field of the sciences, you got to put your foot down. You have to have the time to read. You have the time, you have to have extra time to study. We went out of food without eating like crazy to study 12, 16 hours. You got to put in the time. We were struggling in LU, going Martin Luther King Touch to red light. We and Saki then spent math 3 or 4 with Laura. We're not eating. We're running like eating. Everybody running. We're going still all night to study. Get back in the morning. We're scoring A's. We came with our same attitude in America. No one should lie to you. No one. Most of them will be like, oh, when you come to America, the school is easy. The school. No. I don't know about other schools, but when it comes to what we did in the field of sciences, there's no about easy. So we have to come with that same mindset, like I must study to get it the job done. And we have 1 year to prove ourselves. Dr. Golafale and I, we were given like 1 year. After the 1 year we don't do well, we'll be shipped back to Liberia. So you should know what it means. So the same way we used to meet in Liberia and study, we met the same attitude here. So it's a transition. So we didn't have to go back. Rather, we stood on what we learned from LU and got into the system and penetrate. So it's all about what you learn. What you learn, you will never lose it up here. My father always said that what you put in your head will never come out of head. So that's just how the transition worked on.
That's the American experience, coming from Liberia and then adjusting to life in America and the academics and all that. And our sister in the Netherlands, we're not sure whether it's the same situation. You got your degree from the University of Liberia, right?
Yes.
And there are a lot of sayings that people you graduate from LU, what are you going to do with your degree? And LU is now up to standard. Now, from the STEM, you're proving yourself in the Netherlands, a candidate for a master's degree in water science and hydrology.
Yes.
What's your experience in terms of transitioning from Liberia to the Netherlands, the education?
Okay, first I will start with, if people have the statement that LU is not doing anything, like the STEM education, there is nothing. Yeah, there are some gaps, but they are doing something, because if they weren't doing anything, then some of us wouldn't be here. It's because of the foundation we got from there that we are building on it here. The truth be told, the education system here is hard. Like here, I do a module every 3 weeks. After 6 weeks, I got an exam to take. And since then, there have not been a break. Since I came here, it's after one exam to another. But because of the attitude I had back home, I know I had to study. Like doing engineering, in order to prove yourself back home, you have to be up with the guys. You have to be there. If you're not understanding anything, you have to be there, up whole night studying. So you take that same attitude and bring it back here. Then you already meet up with additional challenge. Like, you're not used to taking exam after every 3 to 6 weeks. You're not used to being part of with a lots of assignments during the same exam week. So you have to double up. But because you build up the attitude from back home already, it has already been developing you, you bring the same thing back here to catch up with whatever challenges you face with. And that has been carrying me.
And talking about building up the attitude, we understand that. I think we all should know that there are a lot of people who do not have or may not have the attitude that you have, to challenge, other people from different countries in academic. Miss Barry, Barry, you are, in your case, what's it like being an African, sitting in a class that probably all white or mixed race, and your experience as a female sitting in a class,
and you're from Liberia.
Yeah, and you're from Liberia.
Because the statistics were out there that I don't know how many thousand took the university exam. Everybody failed. So go ahead.
Thank you so much. First of all, I must appreciate the University of Liberia, and most especially during the time of e-health, the foundation we have with a lot of foreign instructors. That really helped us a lot. And coming to the US, it is up to now a bit challenging, but yes, we can make it. Because when I got to the state, this place is very cold. That was one cultural shock that got to me, because I came during the winter. Setting like the attitude, studying more. And these are some of the reasons why I don't like to tell people that STEM career is hard. It's just for you to build up the time to give it a try. You have to desist from a lot of activities, because when I came, I was promised an assistantship from my advisor, but when she went to the meeting and she emailed me that, okay, the department will want to see my progress. They will want to see my first semester, how I will perform. So that was like a big challenge for me because like coming with an anxiety that, okay, and my research focus is not something that I really do much in when I was in Liberia, like doing my undergrad. I'm like doing something very different, like playing with real-time data. So it's a lot because the mining field is like a real estimate real values that you are going to do, because you won't estimate something that is wrong for a company and you give it to them spending billions of dollars. So
Wow.
my first semester here, actually, I took up the time. And the reason why I appreciate the University of Liberia is this. When we started as mining engineers, we were giving our course guide, a lot of civil courses, a lot of geology courses. And my first 3 courses that I did at the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology, most mining engineers in the US, they don't know a lot into geology.
Wow.
So I was doing geometallurgy, which deals with geology, mining engineering, and metallurgy. And I did processing 1, processing 2 in Liberia. So like I had edge in that class. So I was not too much worried about that other class because I know I already have a lot of foundation in it. I started doing a lot of advanced courses because master's degree, you will do advanced courses. I didn't sleep winter time. I slept on campus. And for me, I don't look at color. I don't see color. No one intimidates me when I'm in class. One thing I know, we are all there to learn, and I ask a lot of questions.
Great.
Just within my first semester, the entire department know my name. No one's office that I will go to that they will not know how to pronounce my name, because I will ask you the question if I don't understand. Some of the challenges that I had is mainly because my research focus right now is on geostatistics, which
we're going to come to the research. Hold on, we're going to come to your research background and talk about that a little bit. Mr. Jack.
You didn't hear me when she said everybody knew her name. I said Sao.
No, we put that sound on the other side. Yeah, but do we have what are our viewers saying? Are there comments and questions from our viewers?
The viewers, just like me, they are just. Let me read a few comments. They are like overwhelmed, just like myself. Mohammed Dukla says, Safiatu Barry, Naklis, NC Holder, Dr. Vaba Sosa, Dr. Saki, Golafale, you are doing tremendously well. And he left me out, so I'm feeling bad. I also studied chemistry at undergraduate level at the University of Liberia, MSc in Material Science.
Wow.
And engineering from the African University of Science and Engineering in Abuja, Nigeria. That's Mohammed M. Dukle.
That's great.
Dave Jar said, don't be sorry, you are 100% right. We will fight for you and nobody will short circuit you. Something is saying, I don't. John C. Lawson is giving some love here to John C. L. Mason. Go, baby. That's Juanita Gueclo. Josh Galakpai said, good to see my high school sister Vaba out there. Congratulations. Theophilus Mambu, great, Juanita. Thanks for pointing out those challenges. Again, Theophilus, Jerome, we are hello to all. Dr. Vava, my strong girl, long time. Dr. Golafale, thanks for the show. And they are saying, Math 102 is integral calculus. You know, when I came from high school, I thought I knew all the math, and I thought every math supposed to have plus, minus. But when I saw that sign like this, that integration sign, I said, what in the world?
Like a snake, eh?
Yeah. So, Ruth Yenigo Richard said, good job, ladies. Queen Thomas Jackson, shine for us. Juanita Greco, proud of you. A. Regina Bates, this indeed is laudable. Brilliant ladies. Mohammed Connor says, STEM is the only way to rebuilding process of any nation. And that brings me to the question that I was thinking about.
Yes.
You know, I told you about my accounting teacher who said accounting next to God. Right? It's accounting next to God. Now we see other careers that rival with STEM. You're on your own, right? So how do you see, I don't want to call it the rivalry or the competition between other career choices that really get the prominence, like the accountant, like in business, or in Nigeria, going to school briefly, no guy will go to STEM. The guys want to do business and go sell and make money.
Wait.
So that's the first place I saw ladies in STEM. My first time seeing that was in Nigeria. So, but now we see in Liberia, I mean, I don't know how many people are very prominent because of STEM. So most of what we see is people that are in other careers. How is that, temptation to go to other careers because you want to be popular or you want to be this? How did you overcome that challenge?
Yeah, so industrial engineering is actually the business engineering. So it merges that. You look at the process, how to improve it, and look at the money side of it too. If you'll be saving money, spending more, how to adjust it to account for the money, the financials. So I think that industrial engineering is one good avenue if you are trying to compete, like you said, with the other accounting and stuff like that. You get a little flavor of both the science and understanding the finance.
Right.
And I just want to make a point to what everybody was saying earlier about like the different experiences with school and filling in the gaps. Going to school, for the most part in America, I can say the same experience exists. When I got into my master's program, I was accepted conditionally, meaning that by the end of the first semester, I had to have at least a 3.0 to remain in the program. So it's just because of my background being biomedical engineering and then moving to a different type of engineering, they look at the differences and they say, oh, you may not be able to make it. So there's a lot of things that they're judging you on as well. And you'll still see that gap in.
And so you think that was more because you are a woman, or was it gender based?
No, okay. I don't think so. I think it's just my background, my educational background. They weren't sure because I didn't have statistics, I didn't have finance and all that stuff from my undergrad. They weren't sure if I can make it in graduate school.
Great.
And it's interesting that you talk about processes. At one point, they were taking, everybody wanted to have Liberia want to take big medical equipments. My background is health informatics.
Yeah.
So I was talking to them. I said, well, if you can just clear that hallway out of clutter, you can save life than even a machine that's otherwise going to do, because it's all about this little second saved life. But let me read another comment here saying, They are good and bad back home here. These ladies are worth being celebrated. From your background, do you think you are being celebrated, or I don't want to go what you do now? Do you see that, or is still a challenge, or they still want you in other fields, or don't see that you are being celebrated?
For me, I think it's in between. There are few people who see that, to be a female is in this field is something worth celebrating, but they still have people who just doesn't want to accept the fact that women can still make it in this field. They still feel that you're still not up to the standard here. So it's in between for me.
Hey.
So for me, I can say there is a need not just to celebrate us, but to encourage others that are coming up, because a lot of the challenge right now is the younger generation that are coming up. So everyone listening to us should encourage their sisters, their daughters. So, see the same career as a normal career as other careers. Don't just see it as the way it has been published, it's a men-dominated field and this field is for male.
Great. And one of the things I wanted to tap on when Ms. Wega talked about having an accounting background as industrial engineering, and I know that for some of you did engineering at the University of Liberia, you still do a course in management, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So do you still do a course in management? I know that
basically economics.
Economics. So you know, this is where we see a connection. You know, these social sciences, like the economics, sociology, and other things that you do as engineers, because your field is very important to the to society's, you know, improvement. Building bridges, building roads, or making prosthetics, you know, and you know, biomedical engineers, what they do, making all of those equipments. But
let me see if Ms. Hoda can hear us. Ms. Hoda, you can unmute yourself and say something. Let's see if we can hear you. Ms. Hoda is joining us from China. There have been some challenges.
Yeah.
Ms. Hoda, you are on mute. If you can unmute and say something, if we can hear you. Yeah, you are on mute and say something. Hey, the Chinese people giving the girl time.
Yeah, it's a tough thing for her.
All right.
I'm so, yeah, it's unfortunate that, you know, she's not enjoying her time on this. But yeah, so we're not hearing you still. But
jump in anytime, or Miss Hoda, anytime we can hear, just jump in.
Yeah. Once you come on, just join us. But back to what I was saying, and we've seen that most of what you people are saying, there is a connection between your field and society. The society cannot survive without someone with a knowledge of water science and hydrology, similar to industrial engineering, similar to mining engineering. A couple of months ago, we heard a mudslide, a lot of miners died. You know, your knowledge of mining engineering can help save lives. Following chemistry with Vaba. Now, the issue of research, I'm quite sure a lot of you have had experience in research. And what's your research goal and how what you've done in your research area? This is general. You can come in, you know, from any point. How does your research fit into our nation's, Liberia's own growth, process? And do you think what you've done in your schools, your research, can be carried to Liberia and it can help any of the sectors that you think? What's your thought?
Yes, this is a very good.
Yeah, come in, Vava. Yeah, Vava, we listen to you.
Okay, I will kind of pause. I didn't hear you. Okay, like I was saying, like in my research area, like just to break it down for people to understand, is I'm mainly focused and still working on more things, and I'm not just like leaving it on because it's an ongoing stuff. How to reduce non-biodegradable materials by bringing on biodegradable materials. What do I have to say? Modification. So
let's break it down about biodegradable.
Let me still break it down. Yeah. That is to say, for instance, yeah, that's why I'm about to break it down. For instance, plastic bags we use.
Yeah.
There are plastic bags and plastic cups and paper plates, paper cups that are made from corn. The corn you see, we grow the corn. The cassava you see, the sugar cane, those plastic bags are made from them. People put it in chemicals and process it and then make this thing and you have your drinking bottle. But then there are some other plastic bags that are made from crude oil, the place they can take the oil from. The remaining of that, those ones that they use to prepare from the crude oil are the non-biodegradable material.
Hold on there. Hold on there a little bit. Can you hold on there for us a little bit? Mr. Ja, that's something we just heard. You ate roasted corn, right?
Yeah.
A lot. You know, we hear about corn. Yeah. How can we make plastic from corn? I mean, our viewers will be interested to know.
You see the starch.
Yeah. No, wait. All I know about corn is I ate a roasted corn. In Ghana, I ate it with dakun, cocoa. Now you are telling me plastic bag from corn. Tell me more about that.
So you see the starch, the same thing that you get it from cassava, the dakun, the this. corn has starch.
Wow.
And the starch have materials that can be broken down into processing. By adding chemicals to them, instead of it just being a regular starch, it's going to stretch those polymeric materials, those molecules, and produce what we come to with different plastic materials. So to be real with you, things that we overlook are things that can be processed into material. So we have those kind of plastics coming up. So,
in Liberia now.
So
you are starch.
Yeah. So in coming to Liberia, you want water, cold water. I want to drink my water in cold water there. You don't even know whether it's the plastic that is made from non-biodegradable material or biodegradable material. So you see how significant it is for Liberia, because once the sources of most, not all, but people are still working every day, the sources, the depletion of our crude oil, the word research coming up to say, oh, these things will be finite, or it will soon finish, or in fact, the process that we carry on, we have to still process it so that the chemical cannot be leached into the water. So we can do this, we can do that. Then on the other hand, these materials that are coming from crude oil, they are entering into drainages. When it rain, what happened? Oh, the water fall out. You see the plastic behind it planted in the water, it can move because those are not biodegradable material. They're not breaking down. They're not breaking down because they are.
So your research. Let me hold you there. Let me hold you there because of time. Your research focused on biodegradable and non-biodegradable materials.
Yeah.
And biodegradable materials are materials that can decay or get rotting.
Yes.
The non-biodegradable one, they stay in the environment forever. And Liberia can greatly benefit from your knowledge and research, especially when you're talking about corn, the things we play where we eat, it wasting all around Red Line and Douala Market. That's incredible. But,
Dr. Golafale, I will slow you down again because you said biodegradable and non-biodegradable. So,
oh my God,
they call mind your business. Is it biodegradable or non-biodegradable?
The mind your business plastic?
Biodegradable. The Maya business plastic, from research I was looking at, most of the Maya business plastic, those black plastic, are non-biodegradable plastic.
Are they dangerous? Are they good for environment?
Of course, it's health hazard. When I went to Liberia last year, 2019, and I have a research proposal to make on preparing material from natural sources. I took pictures because you see the plastic making water, the drainages to be stuck in, and the water overflows. All the rain come on, all the water flows up just from the common thing that we had that we're using right there, causing problems. So it's harmful for the environment.
Let me hold you there, ladies and gentlemen. If you are just joining us, this is Focus on Liberia. We are discussing chemistry and society. Today, our topic is Liberian women in STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And Safiatou Barry, mathematics, I'm not telling you lying. But so if you want to join the discussion, I know we are almost winding down, but the number is being posted. I want people to join. I know we have some beautiful comments, but if you still want to call in, the number is there on your screen. That's 605-313-6004. The code is 791403. Back to you, Dr. Golafale.
Yeah. I mean, if it's left with my one, we wouldn't stop this conversation because Dr. Sosa had just said something that you might make people to start storing their corn and cassava and other things that, they can, start investing into making plastics from corn and starch products. But research-wise, you've told us about how Liberia can benefit from your research. Ms. Guiacolo, water is the source of life, and Liberia has not still come back from the shock of the war. The entire city is not still enjoying pipe-borne water, and we have a lot of water resources. We have 6 rivers. We have coastline that's so long and comparable to any country in Africa, 350 miles long. A coastal country. What your area of research in water science? How can it help Liberia?
Okay, basically, I will basically start my research like in the 1 or 2 from now.
Okay.
But then I got 2 specific area of interest. One is basically looking at this whole climate change, the impact on the hydrological cycle, because we know that climate change is affecting everything. Like you mentioned about the water resources, we have a lot of water resources. In earlier, I talked on something concerning water scarcity. So one might say that, oh, for a country like Liberia, we have a lot of water resources. There's no way that we can experience something of such. But I would tell to you, go ahead.
Yeah, so we can, there's scarcity in water too, like in economics.
Don't even start.
Of course.
Great. Yeah, go ahead.
Of course. But then if the water resources that we have, if it's not managed properly, even with the lots of water resources we have, we can still experience that. When they are not being divided in the different sectors or the different demand, you will have scarcity in one area. And another thing would be that when the water resources, like you have a lot of evaporation taking place. When you have evaporation taking place, it causes degradation on our water resources. So if you don't manage the water resources, it can easily get polluted. And if it gets polluted, you can still have a huge amount of water, but then it's not being used. So it's important that we focus on that and manage the water resources. Then you also look at the issue of flooding in our country.
Yeah, I was about
which has been taking place. Like you have different kinds of flooding. You have the pluvial flooding. You have the fluvial. The pluvial is basically due to development where we don't have a lot of drainages, where you have the drainages being blocked, like Dr. Saka said, that leads to pluvial flooding. And then you have the fluvial, which is due to when the river is overtop. Maybe you have a lot of rainfall where the river is overtop, then you have fluvial flooding, and then we'll also be experiencing something like the coastal flooding within Liberia. Yeah. And then the flooding, if we notice that flood water, it comes with a lot of debris that also affects and pollutes our water resources. So it's important to focus on that. And then flood comes with a lot of risks associated with it. So another focus, like forecasting flood, doing land zoning, or delineating or the flood zones to make sure that people are not within the flood zones. Those are my focus because this is something that is happening back home. So we can know where is it that people are not to build the different flood zones. We can be able to forecast flood that is coming. And once we're able to do that, we'll mitigate the impact of the flood.
So that is basically get it in relation to the zonal laws that exist.
Yeah.
Great.
I think we got to get it, but we have someone who just joined us. I don't so want to see. Can you come out? Let's see you and just call your name, say something, because I'm not sure who
is that.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Can you show us? We can see you. You are mute.
Dr. Golafale, we have a caller on the line. Let's see what our caller is saying. But before, there's the question that you all should think about before I bring in the caller is, have somebody look at you with all this stem in your head and somebody say, you can give me your brain. But let's get a caller on the line. Has anybody asked for your brain? That's about that. Caller, your name and where you coming from.
Okay, my name is John Mawolo. I'm calling from Maryland.
Yeah.
I want to first of all tell the ladies on your platform how proud I am of them and their achievements. And I want to encourage them to continue to encourage other girls to come on into the technical field, the sciences, and math. Mr. Alexander Cumming has already opened a STEM school where they're training little children to come out in the sciences, and I think that will help Liberia a lot. But what I want to admonish the ladies on stage there is that we Liberians have the tendency of just memorizing books. And from their research that some of them talking about, I know they're not only memorizing, They're doing research, applied research. So what I'm saying to them is, I hope whatever you're doing, do it in the context of Liberia.
Yeah.
Because when we're in school here, these people don't teach us about Liberia. When we're in school there, we don't have the material to study in detail about our country. So when we come out, whatever we're doing, whatever form of engineering or science you're doing, please do it in the context of Liberia, taking into consideration everything that's going on in Liberia that you know about. Especially from what I see, most of you were there during the war. So take into context all that is happening, all the negative things, and look for solutions in your profession so that you can go home. And one day there will be somebody in charge who will encourage you, who will give you the money that you need to bring to build the equipment that it will require to remedy some of these problems. So I just want to tell you, I'm very proud. You come from a background of strong women, and I always like to encourage women to be smart and independent. Any man who can't stand you because you're smart, he's not good enough for you. Thank you.
Thank you, John. And I want to also say, even in Liberia, we are not taught about Liberia. So because I went to biology school, they were telling me about cuneiform and all those things. Nobody told me about the trees that are in my village. Nobody told me about the food that I ate. When they wanted to give me an example of a vitamin, they called something from America. Let me read a comment before you respond to John's comment. Regina Bates says, I'm exceedingly elated and deeply touched by all of you as it relates to the splendid deliberations being exhibited by you guys. Besides, it is indeed a mission accomplished in the midst of all the hardships, difficulties, and frustrations. You guys still have an indelible dream come through. I say to you guys, bravo.
Thank you.
Any response to John's comment or Ms. Vega? And then the comment?
Yes, thank you for the kind words. I will say that with that, your encouragement saying to always think of Liberia, it made me think about them saying, and how it relates to my field, that a problem well stated is a problem half solved. So that's one of the biggest principles of like industrial engineering is understanding the true problem. So I think that focusing on Liberia, doing more research to define the problem clearly, we can help get to the solution faster.
In short, we have to invest in research and innovation.
Yeah, research. And even if we don't even get to the research first, at least start collecting the statistics. Because if we don't have the statistics, then we cannot define the problem. We don't know what the problem is if we don't have any facts to go behind it. Science is all fact-based. You can't say the sun was hot. What is hot? Hot is relative, so you need to have an exact temperature to go with it. If we don't have that information, how can we solve the problems?
Great thought. Ms. Barry?
So I want to say a big thank you to the caller for the encouragement. And that's one thing every day that I look into. Like presently, I'm a teaching assistant at the University of Liberia in the engineering college. So like how best, because we know there are a lot of challenges, a lot of limitations. But one thing I have learned in the United States here is that there are a lot of opportunity on the media, on the internet. But people are not like telling our students back home how to go ahead to learn these things for themselves. Like right now in the mining industry, globally, the mining industry is trying to make the entire world to understand, taking mining from the traditional understanding standpoint to that of the modern mining, because when you put mining on the globe right now, all the things you will see is the Stone Age man, ancient, equipments and other things. And there are a lot of advances in the mining industry that is happening today. And right now, being a mining engineer, you have to really stay glued to computer because technology is driving the industry. Back home, we don't know a lot of those things. And some programming skills today that we are learning here, I must admit, they are not teaching us in school, but they are telling us to go out there on the internet to learn them for ourselves. So we just have to see how best we can integrate some of this system, because we can keep also saying that, okay, we should integrate the Liberian way, because you will be leaving Liberia one day to come to another country and you should be on standard with other students.
So it's more like having a globalized, mindset.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like when I think about how I'm studying here and to that of back home, I really used to study back home, I must admit, but here I can tell you I double the step, because a lot of things I have to learn it by myself. No one will teach you. The only thing, usually my advisor, her best saying will tell you, go and figure it out yourself. And I'm learning from that process, because like it makes you independent and it makes you to know that there is more to do. I don't know if you want me to go into my research.
We'll talk about that probably in your closing or statement, but Ms. Guercolo wanted to say something in regards to the caller's concern and points he raised.
Oh, yes. I first want to say thank you to him for his compliments. And like he stated that when we do anything back here or during our studies, we should have Liberia's first. Like going towards my choosing what topic I want to do for my research, I actually wanted to go back home, but then it's not permitted right now. So with the different topics, I chose something that can be applied back home, something that I can use looking at the instances of flooding that is taking place back home. We have this constant flooding, how best I can use knowledge from back home. Like what I'm studying here is something that I can apply back home. And then something Ms. Wigga said, talking about something about a measurement or something like that. I got a professor who always said, like when I did a course in surface water, like data collection or so, I've been talking here about management of the water resources and everything, but then you cannot manage something that you have not measured. Mm-hmm. That is something I want to stress on, that the government needs to invest in the Hydrological Bureau back home. Though we have support right now where we are doing a bit of collection of data, but then we need, because before you carry out any research or you're talking about flood forecasting, you have to understand, how do you understand it's because of data? You have to understand the hydrological response of the basin, like how much rainfall will lead to a certain amount of discharge, and how much discharge will lead to flooding within a particular area. And that comes from the data that has been collected in the past. So we need to invest into data collection. That's the only way we will move forward.
And research as a whole.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dr. Golafale, we got a caller. But before that, Anita Freeman is saying, Juanita Guercolo, seeing you on this platform makes me want to double up more in school. I'm proud of you.
Great.
So you are inspiring somebody. And that's what my question was going to be coming from, because we see that most of us here, and that's the big elephant in the room, that when we go back, we want to run for representative or something. But I hope, and I want to ask you about your plans or anything that you're involved in, like we're talking about encouraging people. But before, let me bring in Pape Flomo. Pape Flomo, the man from all the 13 counties.
No, the Uncle P from all the 13 counties.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Pape Flomo, Uncle P cousin.
Yeah.
No, yes, this is Austin Pape Flomo. I'm not from the 13 counties. I'm from 2 of the 13 counties, from Nima County and Grand Bassa County. I'm very impressed having this, watching these women on your show, and it's a breath of fresh air. And I hope that our young Liberian women will look at these women as their role models, and not the women that are on other shows, encouraging people to insult the president and other politicians and using profanity, and you have those women telling them insulting, cussing good. I mean, this is a breath of fresh air. I mean, look at your show. You have only 43 viewers. But if you go on those shows that I'm talking about, you have 1,000, 2,000. I mean, it is disheartening. So when I turn to your show tonight and I've seen these ladies, I mean, it's sometimes, want to bring tears to my eyes. I mean, I never knew that we still have Liberian women, like this. And I want to encourage them. At least they should, put themselves together, form an association and help our girls back home. I'm saying this because Liberian government, I'm not referring to the Georgia government or the Ellen Johnson government, that Liberian government as a whole, they don't encourage most of our engineers and scientists from abroad. When you go there, they try to discourage you. And I'm a personal, and I'm a practical example. In 2016, when I went back to Liberia, I wanted to encourage computer science and computer programming, especially with robotics, because I was involved in a project, especially what the lady was talking about, how you call it, renewable products like the degradable, biodegradable plastic. So what happened was, I was tasked to write an algorithm to actually measure the temperature and then the raw material, including the amount of fluid that will go into the mix before you come to a perfect compound to produce that. And what I'm telling you is very difficult. It's very difficult to do. And if these women can get to that height of achieving this, I mean, kudos to them. As I look at them and I was listening to them, tears came from my eyes, seriously. So I really thank God that we still have women like this around. And I encourage them to encourage our people especially our young girls, so that they don't, use or they don't consider those women that they see on the Prophet Key show and as the Costa show as their role model, that our young girls will choose them as their role model. Thank you very much, and kudos to those women.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Most striking thing is they all graduated wartime, the time we thought nothing good is coming from Liberia. And I want to stress that because, and I don't know how much I can stress that, but I want to assure you, Papa Flomo, and all of you watching, that there are still good things in Liberia. So it's just that what you focus on is what's going to grow. There are more positive shows on the internet than the bad ones, but because the bad ones are nicer, that's what focus on Liberia. We started this in 2017, and still we will continue to, as we say, to educate, to elevate and promote all things Liberia. And what we are doing is we are writing a book. Even if nobody reads it now, they will read it later because it's good.
Yeah, and thanks to the caller. That was touching, and that's the essence of this show. So bring our women or professionals in sciences, in the different sciences, on or bring them to a level. Let people know what they're doing, how they're doing it, the challenges, so they can use their stories to inspire other people. I always feel that people in the rural areas, like a little girl in Bokonjide, in Kample, in Saki, in my hometown of Dambala, how they're going to get that education that these bright minds here have, and talk the science, like Ms. Guayakolo is speaking the science with confidence, and Ms. Barry and Ms. Wiega and Dr. Susser. This is incredible. But Mr. Ja, in terms of closing, where are you? We're running out of time, and I think our panelists will have to give us their closing.
Yeah, I wanted to say this before the final word is most of the time when sometimes they see you doing something, what do people tell you? Oh, why can you write a book, right? But if you remember, Socrates did not write a book. What am I saying? Those of us who are watching these incredible ladies, we are saying, okay, what are you? They should encourage the young people, or they should do this. But maybe that's not their strength. Maybe their strength is to be the STEM people they are. So it's left with us. What can we do to support them so that we can encourage the young people, so that the little girl I left in Dudweke can also aspire to be like, Ms. Wiega or Dr. Sosa or Ms. Barry. So what is it for all of you, all of us that are listening? How can we promote STEM? How can we promote these ladies so that what they are doing they probably don't have time to encourage anybody because they are busy. So what can we do to build that network around them so that we can be the one carrying out the message? As I say, Socrates did not write book. People look at Socrates and they wrote it down. And today we have something.
From the back room, I got a suggestion.
Yeah.
What we can do is to first share the show. And
precisely. So
yeah,
if you
share the show, subscribe to
this show is
Focus
also
on
going to be on
Liberia
YouTube
YouTube channel
it.
so that you can watch the educational shows that will inspire you and motivate you, and change your thinking about the way you look at things. Some things that you think that you can't make it. Just from hearing from these ladies alone is something to tell you that, you know what, I can make it. I mean, they are in the most difficult areas of academics, and they are succeeding. They have succeeded, by the way. And so wherever you are, I don't see what can stop you. So, I mean, that's my suggestion I wanted to make from the back room. Listen to the show and share the show.
Great. Share the show, go on the YouTube channel and subscribe.
Yep.
So yeah. And at this moment we are, I feel we should continue for the whole night, but people have to go and have something to eat and sleep.
And when you're bringing them back,
it's been an incredible evening here, and I'm so overwhelmed that bringing these professionals, STEM people on the show to talk science, the confidence that they have, and the inspiration they're giving to other people who are listening, who are watching. And I know this will go for a long time. We will continue to bring you people back on the show. But in closing, in a minute, let's wrap it up. Starting with Ms. Guiacolo. Closing. What's your closing remark?
I would like to close with this remark to Liberian women out there, not specifically STEM field. I want to tell you that you're beautiful, you're smart, you're strong, you're intelligent, you got everything it takes to make it in life. Follow your dreams. With hard work and determination, you can make it. Be true to yourself and be true to your dreams. Thank you.
Yeah. Dr. Sosa?
Yes, I would say be more motivated and encouraged to push to do what you desire to do, and most importantly, to impact our society in Liberia. So I would say there's nothing big about learning STEM. Like I just love how my own colleague on the moderator analyst said, there's nothing difficult. Miss Barry said there's nothing difficult about learning anything that has to do with STEM. Be encouraged and know that this I can do. It's not about main course. It's about what you can do to help impact Liberia. And actually, it's going to help the country once STEM is live and more accessible, and a lot of people jumping on the boat. It's going to help Liberia in every facet of society.
Ms. Barry, your parting comment.
So I want to say first a big thank you to every one of you for hosting us here today in order for our voices to be heard. First of all, there are a lot of recommendations to Liberia, the government, and that of STEM professionals today. There's a need for more women in STEM, and we should focus on that in encouraging women to get into the field instead of stereotyping them. And there's a need for more career programs in order for students from elementary school can start loving the STEM field. There's a need for counseling and mentorship program wherein women can believe that yes, they are capable, they can, and they can do it. So to close to my fellow females back in Liberia or any part of the world, anywhere you are, I want to tell you to be confident in yourself. You can make it. Presently, we are involved into mentoring women, and Give the Girl a Hand behind me. Give the Girl a Hand International is an organization that was established by me and my colleagues in 2016. That is to empower more women and making sure that women achieve their full potential. We are here to help you. Never feel discouraged, even if someone is trying to hold you back. You get people to lean on, to talk to. Some of us, we never had a role model as women in our field of studies, but we lobby around our counterparts, people who are willing to promote women. So you can also visit people who want to see women at the top. Believe in yourself. STEM career, as I always said, is not difficult. It just requires some time. You have to, focus on what you want to achieve, and definitely you will. Thank you so much.
Great, Ms. Barry. And just to add to what you said about your organization, Give Girls the Hand International, you might want to look into STEM and gender advancement. Check on the UNESCO website. They have a program that try to identify gaps, in policies that foster gender, empowerment and pushing female into STEM. The UNESCO is the United Nations Scientific and Cultural Organization. They have a project called STEM and Gender Advancement. So you want to check that out. But great. And this we got. What's the parting comments?
Okay, so first I want to say, where you see women, you see innovation. So in any corporation, in America right now, they're trying to increase the number of women they have in business, engineering, whatever the case may be, because you see innovation, you see a change. So don't be afraid to go into STEM. I would encourage women, if that's your dream, follow it. If you fail, that was just a moment. You didn't fail forever. So take that failure, build on it, and keep pushing. Everyone learns differently. So we even see in the way that women and men behave, there may be some learning differences in that. So if your teacher is teaching you in a way that you don't understand, that doesn't mean that you don't understand it. You just don't understand the way the teacher is teaching you. So get help from someone else. You don't have to do it alone. Like you have us here. I'm willing, if you are struggling with something, to reach out. I can see who can help you if I cannot help you. So just remember, you're not alone. Follow your dreams, and just stay encouraged, and be as strong, beautiful, intelligent as you are.
Great. What an incredible evening. And I haven't had this experience. I don't know when, I can't remember, but it's been a night to remember. And wherever you are watching us, listening to these beautiful Liberian women and our academics in STEM, engineers, or water engineers, polymer chemists, you name it. We've been listening to them tonight. And I'm sure we'll have people watching this as it's being posted on Facebook and YouTube. Just follow the program and try to inspire someone to share. Let them listen to these women talking about their different professions in STEM. And without keeping you long tonight, I just want to say thank you to everyone for watching and following this program. It's been an incredible night. And one of the reasons we have these kind of conversations is to foster some, our approach to looking at different things that can enhance our development, like STEM, which we don't talk about a lot. A lot of shows go on around, people are glued to them talking about politics. But here we talk about science and how people are using their knowledge in science to innovate ideas to help society, and how we can translate our knowledge to Liberia, help our communities, like Ms. Giacomo talking about water resource management, Dr. Sosa talking about corn and starch, where you can take renewable or biodegradable products from. Ms. Barry, where it comes to the issue of mudsliding in mines, people have to be protected, And of course, our people who use prosthetics, Ms. Wega, these are people that we need in our society to push the country forward. Their collective efforts, are connected with the social issues that we face right now, can push us forward. STEM is the way, regardless of whether you like it or not. Science, technology, education, or engineering and mathematics is the way. Right now, the United Nations, UNESCO, has a program called STEM and Gender Advancement that looks at gaps within filling these gaps to push women forward, and also helping with science, technology, and innovation policies, for developing countries. But without holding you long, I want to say thank you for watching us, following us this evening. It's been incredible. Join me next week. I'm your host, Saki Golafale. Join me next week on a very interesting topic where we'll be talking about pharmaceuticals, storage of pharmaceutical products in Liberia, safety, and potency. We'll have very 2 or 3 interesting young men here who will be talking about the area of pharmaceutical storage in Liberia. Until then, I'll say thank you so much for watching. I'll turn over to my co-host, Mr. Jad, to close it out.
Dr. Golafale, is it okay to cry?
No, please.
It's up to
No,
you.
please.
I mean, express yourself whatever way you can.
I am so happy, and I'm very impressed. The comments I'm getting, they say we should do this on Sunday. They finished drawing my schedule already. They say do this on Sunday. We need more of this. So we have just because there are many questions, we just really want to get more of this. So even Dr. Golafale is going to work with you to bring you back, if not on a regular show, but to do more of this.
On a one-on-one.
Yeah, so people get to know what you do and how much we can do this, because entertainment is good. So a lot of people talk about the entertainment on the other channels. With all the stress, I work today 8:30 to 5:30. So from there, I want to go somewhere where the people are, doing the G's and the fries. It's entertainment. But we still got to hammer this home. So we want to appreciate you all so very much. Thank you for what you do. And in any weak way that we can help at Focus on Liberia, we'll do it very, very possible so that this message go forth. We'll be putting this on YouTube. Continue to share the show. Continue to keep in touch with us so that we can have you back, because I want to borrow your brain. I'm sure a lot of people want to. And not just your brain, but, so that people can look at you and be inspired. That indeed, at this time where we think Liberia, the country is a mess, everything is bad, you have people who created wartime and are doing incredible. From the time I was born, my area is not too far from Bokonjiri. They have been mining gold before my father was born, and the gold is still there. No. So I want to take Barry there so we can get some gold. So, how these things happen, we want to talk more about that. Until then, from all of us, and any message from the back room, because my man is.
Let me acknowledge someone. I think our other panelist, Ms. Holder, has been trying all her best to come on. It's been a difficult, time for her to connect from China. We so appreciate her for, exerting all the effort to be with us. I'm seeing her on, I don't know what. Can you say something just to close up? We appreciate your heart, the effort you put in. Can you say something, Ms. Holder? Are you there?
Yeah, anytime I promote her, then it's
all right. So it's still been difficult. We thank you so much for making and trying hard to come on. It's difficult, I know. I don't want to cry, but I felt that it's a disservice to you. You should have been on this show to express yourself, tell people about yourself. But in the future, we'll definitely reach out to you very soon. We'll have you on the show again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On behalf of all of us here at Focus on Liberia, thank you so much for joining us at Focus on Liberia. We educate, we elevate, and promote all things Liberia. My name is Dennis Jazz saying good night and God bless you. We're going to end with a song. We are all Liberia. And don't forget,
Liberia is our home. Liberia people.
DJ House of Fame. Yes, I like this one. Him alright, yes, him alright.
Our children, they are jolly Lord. Our children, they are jolly Lord. Remember, oh, our children.